Mama Sue, and you have found your way to my little old channel, Glam Goat Facing Farm. We're trying something a little bit different with the filming. I hope that this works. I'm not sure that it will, but I've been moving some things around, trying to, you know, make life easier, you know, work smarter, not harder. And we'll see how it works. Anyways, I have a hole in my face right here. It's been there for a very long time. It got infected, so I've been doctoring on that, and the infection is gone, but I'm keeping it covered. Yeah, I did the whole Google thing. No doctor, no insurance, you know, all that. So it kind of depends on what makeup does with a band-aid as to, you know, the makeup videos. I don't know. Anyways, we still got to do some skincare. So today we are using, you can see we're getting down there. It's getting down there. We're using, this is Pharmacy. This is kind of nice because I can sit back instead of having to be all up in the camera. This is the honey potion. It's a warming potion. You rub it on your face and then it kind of turns white, and then of course I'll put my cover mask over it, and we will go on to read. You know what? I'm gonna have to look it up. I think it's 34 in Exodus. It's 33 or 34. I think it's 34, but I'm gonna have to look it up because doofus, I forgot. Anyways, hang out. We'll be right back, and you know, get into our bit of the Bible. Okay, has everybody got their mask on? Everybody got your mask on? This, you know, it's 100,000 degrees here. It is 89 degrees in my room. I got the air on. I got the fans on me. I'm doing, you know, doing what I can. Because 90 degrees, I just have to think it's 90 degrees and I'm going to start sweating. But the warming mask, basically it warms. That means it's going to draw blood. Blood is what carries nutrients. So, you know, my face right now is having some issues. We'll see. It's supposed to be like a totally secure band-aid. I paid, I don't know, a stupid amount of money for these band-aids. But you're supposed to be able to take a shower, you know, wash your face, and it won't move. We'll see. We'll see about that. Anyways, so I guess, I did look it up, and we are on 34. So I got my little light here. We are on chapter 34, and of course the light is making things not work right. All right. Let's see how this works out. Chapter 34 in Exodus. And the Lord said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tablets of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. I did not know. I'm taking that the light's not working. I did not know that God inscribed the tablets twice. I was totally not aware of that. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. No man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount. Neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount. So I believe when it says before that mountain, I think it means like anywhere around or in the foothills of that mountain. And he hewed 2 tablets of stone like unto the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning and went up into the Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tablets of stone. And the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there, and stood with him there. Do I believe that God stood in physical form in front of Moses? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And proclaimed the name of the Lord, and the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity. I'm going to need something to, like, between the glasses and holding that, you know, that there's some weight behind this thing. Okay. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon children, and upon the children's children, unto the 3rd and to the 4th generation. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward earth and worshipped. And bowed his head toward earth and worshipped. And he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. Glasses. And he said, behold, I make a covenant. Covenant is like an agreement or a contract. And he said, behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done on all the earth, nor in any nation, and all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. That's a little scary. Observe thou which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Okay, before y'all get like, you know, oh, well, God was, you know, they were there first. These were not good peoples, okay? These were not good peoples. These were not love your neighbor. They were bloodthirsty, human sacrifice, children sacrifice. These were not, like, just horrendous things of which you cannot even imagine. These were not good people, okay? Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. Take heed to thyself. Okay, so like, don't be making agreements with these people, because you are going to regret it. It's not going to work. You cannot make a contract with these people that have no respect for a contract. But you shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. When they say his name is jealous, I don't think they mean like, oh, I mean, they think like, you know, yeah, you can call me jealous because I'm jealous, you know, like, you can call me, you can call me a makeup, covert makeup because I love makeup, but that doesn't mean that's my name, okay? Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. So basically what he's saying here is, lay down with dogs, get up with fleas. You cannot assimilate with these people and remain a godly person. It is not going to work. And now take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after thy gods. So, you know, even if you're thinking like, oh, well, you know, we can keep their women, you know, for our sons. No, because they're still going to carry those beliefs, and they're going to have an effect on your son's beliefs. Thou shalt make thee no molten gods. No molten gods. The feast of unleavened bread shall thou keep. 7 days shall thou eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee, in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt. All that open in the matrix is mine, and every firstling among thy cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if thou shalt redeem him not, then thou shalt break his neck. And the firstborn of thy sons thou shalt redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days thou shalt work, but on the seventh day, the glasses, on the seventh day thou shalt rest. In earing time and in harvest thou shalt rest. And thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of the gathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year, thrice being 3 times, thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before the Lord God, the God of Israel. For I will cast out the nations before thee, and enlarge thy borders. Neither shall any man desire thy land. When thou shalt go up to appear before the Lord thy God thrice in the year. This is where we have waned in our faith, because, you know, people be like, oh, well, you know, look at what's going on in Israel today, blah, blah, blah. But is their faith so that they actually perform and believe as God instructed? Or do they think that they need to fight because, you know, they don't truly believe that God is going to do it for them? Because, you know, if you're going to do things in a manly way, then it's going to happen in men's ways. But you know, you have to have enough faith to let God take care of it, even though it seems like it's impossible. But it's not, because with God, all things are possible. All things. It doesn't mean some things or most things or a few things or many things. It means all. Everything is possible. Everything is possible doesn't mean that God's going to do it if you don't fulfill your part of the contract. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before the Lord God, the God of Israel. For I will cast out the nations before thee, and enlarge any borders. Neither shall any man desire thy land, when thou shalt go up to appear before the Lord thy God thrice in the year. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left unto the morning. Morning being time of day. The first of the first fruits of thy land shall thou bring unto the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. So, a kid would be a goat. Thou shalt not seethe, so thou shalt not basically kill a kid in his mother's milk. So, weanlings, not infants. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights, and did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant and the 10 commandments. And when it came to pass, when Moses came down from the Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, what Moses wist not, that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. So there was a difference. Something happened in Moses' skin that was in the actual presence of the Lord. And it shone. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh to him. So he must have been like glowing and a little bit scary, you know, like fluorescent maybe. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterward all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that was God just, you know, saying, yeah, okay, we good. All right. So this fluorescence that was upon Moses after speaking directly, like in the presence of the Lord, he put a veil on his face, I'm assuming, so that people would not be afraid and would, you know, approach and listen. But when Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke unto the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw, next page, the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. And Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. And then is chapter 35. There's only 40 chapters. Only. So, you know, once a chapter a week has taken us almost a year to read this. So, the first stone tablets were destroyed because, you know, the people were just, God was disappointed. Moses begged God, you know, oh, come on, it can't be that bad. Let me just go down and, excuse me, and present these. And then when Moses went down and actually saw the people himself, he was like, how could I doubt what God was saying? Obviously, y'all are done, you know. And he threw the tent. Now, God originally, he was just going to take, I'm done with them. Just, you know. But then Moses begged him, like, no, please, let me go to the people. Let me go to the people. And he was able to separate the true of heart, the true of faith, from the ones that just were not ever going to really follow the Lord. And let me be clear, because you believe in God does not mean you follow God, okay? Satan believes in God. Satan knows that there is a God. Satan does not follow God, okay? So believing and following is two completely different things. So, you know, and then I believe, because it didn't really say this, but I believe as part of their punishment, because they had turned for, you know, they were in on it, they had to slay their families, brothers, sisters, whatever, that had refused to follow God. You know, instead of God doing it, he commanded them, no, you got to do this yourself, you know. You could have kept this from happening. You could have kept this from happening. And this explains, okay, this explains when people say, why does God allow bad things to happen? God doesn't allow bad things to happen. We allow bad things to happen. And there are consequences. There are consequences. And it's part of our sin that we do this. We can't help it. We do allow bad things to happen. But saying that God's the one that's doing it, no, it's not God. It's us. It's us. And it's really, really hard. I don't think anybody could actually do it, to just have so much faith in God that never, not one time in your whole life, are you going to, like, not try to take things into your own hands. And it's when you take things into your own hands, when you try to do things in a man's way, in man's world, they don't work. They don't work. You have to have God in there. You have to let God handle it. So yeah, there was twice that the 10 Commandments were, you know, the covenant was made. I did not know that. I did not know that. You know, there's so many things that are not in the stories that you think that you know until you actually read the actual Bible. All the little notes, all the books that are not the, you know, oh, read the Bible in 52 weeks. No, you can't read the Bible in 52 weeks. You can get an idea of what's in it in 52 weeks, but you can't just read a chapter every, you know, 52 a chapter a week and be through. I mean, there's 40 chapters in Exodus alone. And I am, like, there's a lot in there that's so, you know, people, oh no, you know, well, this was science. It wasn't God. God is science. You know, one of the things about the first thing that I think of, personally, I'm sorry, this is going to take some time, but the first thing that I thought of personally when it says that Moses' face shone and that the people were, like, you know, hesitant to come by him because of that, radiation, like some kind of fluorescence, You know, I mean, the power of God, to be in the actual presence of the Lord, to be in the presence of his power, has got to take some kind of a physical effect upon a weak-ass human. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So, you know, but radiation or fluorescence or whatever, you know, these are all things that were created by God. Science was created by God. Hello. Science doesn't disprove God. Science proves God. In my opinion, I know. Anyways, a lot of things to think about there. Make some comments. Let me know how you feel about it. And sometimes I forget what I read, you know, 3 chapters ago. So if I'm thinking that, you know, things are not the way that they are, and I'm, you know, comment below, let me know, like, no, that's not what it said. You know, it was, you know, Aaron was his brother, not his son. I don't know where I came up with that, like, duh. Anyways, until the next time, I hope you wake up dancing, wake up dancing, boom, boom, boom. Wake up dancing every single day. Bye-bye, and God bless you.